we're going to color the background of the table and begin by the first row. We select the first row and click on Control 1 or right click Format Cells. Next to border we have an option of setting the fill of the cell with no color being selected right now. There's a bunch of colors available, so for instance we're going to select a dark blue color. We could have selected more specific options by clicking, let's say, more colors or fill effects, and more intricate schemes are available from there. But right now let's remain with our simple preset by Microsoft preset colors and click OK. The next thing this is a little bit too dark blue, so let's go back and change it into a little bit lighter blue. And now the next thing while coloring the table, we would like to do a number of things in one step. So let's select the first, the second room. And now, in order to do many selections all in once, we have to hold Control key. Do the first selection and then hold Control key. And now we can select the fourth room and then select the sixth room. And now non-adjacent things have been selected by using Control key. If we had wanted to select everything together, we just would have clicked and dragged. But non-adjacency is what we have enabled by using by holding Control key. And now Control 1 and some kind of a lighter filling. The other thing that I would like to do is we see that our cost for that room is $1,200 per square meter. We would like to have this square meter written out properly. So what we do is we want to just set number 2 as an upper index or superscript. So what we do is we double click inside the formula to be able to edit it, and then we click and drag so that only number 2 is selected. We now click on Control 1, and what we see is the same menu. Although since right now we're within the cell, we have the only option that we can set is font option. We're within the cell. We cannot set the border. We cannot set the background because we're like inside the cell. But font options were actually there already before, so that's what we need. Once again, if we, for instance, had wanted to change it from Arial to something else, or to turn it into to turn the font into one having bigger size, then I guess we just would have taken the upper ribbon and done it from there. But this option of turning things into superscript is rather intricate. Thus, such more specific settings, like for instance selecting a color for some parts of the text within our worksheet, or setting a number of different underline styles, the text be underlined. These are all hidden here in a more specific menu, as well as is superscript, which we're now going to select. So more specific, or to put it another way, less frequently used things are hidden in those deeper menus. And we click on OK, and we have our square meters. Now the next thing we want to do is, for instance, change the color of this heading. So we once again select the cell, but now the entire cell, and click on Control 1. We will now have font options open, and we have border and fill here as well. And we will just select a different color for the font. Okay, and we will put it to bold as well, as long as we're in this window. Now, the next thing is, since the $1,200 per square meter is kind of important data for this exercise, we're going to select this cell, click on Control 1, take a border, put an outline border around it, and then furthermore, we're going to take a fill. We're going to fill it with some background color. And then we will also take point and change its color to something that sticks out. Okay, so here it is. This is a little bit too light, so we'll change it to this. Okay, and one further thing that warrants our attention is that some numbers have rather many decimal places and seem to be like too exact for our needs. So what we do now is we will select, for instance, width and length, and now click on Control 1 and select number properties. To go over a number of other things we haven't looked in this window, we see that there is something called protection, and this is something we won't be dealing with in this course, basically. As it just pertains to the case where many people are sharing a workbook which has some data which is sensitive, and thus protecting is needed so that some simpler users can't mess things up. There's also something called alignment, in which case we can, for instance, turn the text to flow from up to down, not from left to right. But this is rather infrequently used, so we won't concentrate on that. And the last one is the one we're interested in, it's number. And let's at first start by saying that we consider these cells to contain numbers. So let's click on number. And as they contain numbers that we want to show with up to one decimal place after comma, we're going to use decimal places 1. And next we also see that, for instance, for a number we can use 1,000 separators. So if our number is in millions, we will have all the places of the number grouped together by 3. So thousands, thousands, up to million, up to billion, and so forth. And also we could have set the negative numbers to be in red color. For instance, if our company is in red or in losses, we will have it in red color. Okay, let's click on OK, and we have one decimal place here. Now the next thing we want to do, let's say that we want area to be specified more exactly. So we select this area column, click on Control 1, and then select number and 2 decimal places. And let's say that we want the cost to be in dollars. We select that column, click on Control 1, and now, as we see, there's a number of options. The cell can either contain a number, a currency, an accounting measure, date, time. It can contain percentages, and there's a bunch of other options. We'll go over them later. For instance, text or scientific number. We'll see that in a few weeks as well. But right now we're only interested in currency, and we'll say that it's dollars. Okay, here we go. And now the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to draw a graph that will represent the costs that are associated with different rooms. So in order to do that, we're going to select at first the room heading and the room names, and then click and hold Control key and select all the costs. And now, in order for us to be able to graph things in Microsoft Excel, we will have to click on Insert part of the ribbon. And under Insert, there's something called Charts, and we want to use the column chart. In the next few lessons, we'll learn to use 3 most frequent charts, and then of course a number of others that are not that frequently used. Here under columns we're going to use two-dimensional graphs, so nothing as fancy as 3D. And then again, from amongst two-dimensional graphs, we will have to select the first one, because there all the numbers have one column for them. I mean, the next option actually divides columns between numbers. So for instance, one column represents a set of numbers. Here, one number will have its own column always. Okay, let's click on it, and here it is. This is the costs. We have nicely the headings here on x-axis. We have rooms numbered from 1 to 7, and the cost will be on the graph. The graph will also have a heading. We'll look more deeply into making graphs later on. But for instance, we can right now do such a thing that we will click on this cost here. This is kind of a explanatory text that tells that these columns are representing costs. But since we have one heading here already, which also tells us that it's the costs we're dealing with, we can now just click on the second one and click on delete button. So, and we will have deleted the redundant information. And here we're done with the first exercise. And the room number 4 is the most expensive one, because it has the biggest area.